Hi friends, we've been talking about how the Native Americans used wood in so many things in their daily life. Remember how the wood was used as the frame of their shelters, either their wigwams, their teepees, or their longhouses? We also know that they carved wood to make totem poles, and they made kachinas, good luck or spirit dolls. They also used wood as fuel in their fires so that they could stay warm and they could cook their food. They also used wood in their bows and in their arrows, so when they hunted for animals, they could shoot them and then use all the parts of their bodies to either eat and nourish themselves or maybe make tools out of their bones, and they'd peel the skin off the animals. That's also known as hides, the animal hides, and they'd make things with them. This is a piece of leather. It's smooth on one side and the other side is soft and textured. And they'd use that also as clothing, leather. Now I'm holding something special. It's a piece of leather, and on it are little stringed seed pods. And when the Native Americans stitched them on their leather, they might tie that around their ankle or their arm and listen to the sound it makes when they shake it. Isn't that cool? So that was a musical instrument. Here's another musical instrument. This is a piece of leather. It's on the skin of this drum, and then wood around the sides. Have you ever seen a square drum? And then there's a wood handle that they added as decoration. And I don't know if you have ever heard this sound, but instead they can pat it, but they can also roll it between their hands and make these beads hit it. Isn't that a nice sound? Here's another one. It's round, and look at the bird on there. They really decorated this one. And here's one more musical instrument. Do you know what it is and how it's used? You blow through this end, and this piece of wood is hollow. That means there's nothing in there but air, and then some holes on top. And you can play this musical instrument. Isn't that a pretty sound? Native Americans also used wood and leather to make toys for their children. Can you think of a baby's first toy? A rattle. So just like a gourd can be a rattle when the seeds inside dry, the Native Americans put a stick with a round piece of leather around it, and they stitched up the sides, and there's probably seeds in there. Listen to the sound it might make for a baby. So it could be a rattle, but also a musical instrument for a special ceremony. And this one was made by this Native American. His name is Larry Klee. Here's another toy. It's made of wood, and look at that. It's been carved into a Native American's face and headdress. And children would use this to pretend, and because they would eventually learn how to hunt with their grown-ups. Here's a little pouch made of leather. This could be used by adults to store things, but also it could be used to play with a doll. Now this doll has a leather clothing on, And even though this doll is plastic, Native Americans did like to play with dolls. They might make them with corn husks or sticks and things they found in nature. And they might even add some wool. This is soft wool, or some kind of furry skin from another kind of animal. Look at the beading on there. Lots of decorations. And they fringed the sides too. Here's some more toys. Just like we play with dolls, here's a little doll wearing leather and a tiny little cradle board made of birch bark and leather and decorated with beads and feathers. And the baby could go in there. If it was full size, a real baby could go in there too. And it could be hung in the tree to rock the baby in the breeze while the grown-ups were cooking or working in the fields. Or it can be leaned against a tree so the baby can rest. Some mothers even put the cradle board on their backs and the baby would be with them wherever they went. Here's some things carved of wood. A ball. Everybody loves playing with balls. And look at this little bear toy. He's made of wood too. You know what one of these are? This is a top. It can spin around. And here's a tool for cleaning, and it's a piece of wood, and it has a nice little handy strap, so it could be strapped to their belt and it'd always be there for them. This one is called a buzz toy, and you're going to have to listen carefully because you might hear the sound it makes. It's a decorated disc of wood, some string, and two little handles on either end. See if I can get it going. So I spin it around a lot of times to wind it up and then pull. Could you hear that buzzing sound it made? That's a buzz toy. And then here's another game. A ball and made of wood, a little cup on the end of a stick. And it looks like this was made out of one whole piece of wood, specially carved. And of course, this was also carved, probably out of the same wood. See how it changes colors? Let's see if I can do this. The object is to get the ball into the cup. It's not easy. It takes lots of practice. Well, there's another game, and we're going to make this kind of game. This one is called the ring and pin game. And the Iroquois Native American tribe called it spearing the moose. Can you guess what I'm going to do, how you play this game? I'll show you. You try to get the ring on the pin. Did I spear the moose? So this one is painted. I painted this one already and I added some string. Yours probably looks like this, but you can paint yours with your watercolors or whatever kind of paint you have. And then you're going to need a string. This is about 10 to 12 inches. A grown-up can cut that for you. And you're going to tie it around, or have a grown-up tie it around at one end. After you've painted it and after it's dried. And the other end you're going to put on the end of your stick. But what's really nice and special about this is decorating it. Mine's all plain right now, but if I were to take some pretty strings and wrap around the handle, it makes it nice to hold. and it looks really nice too. I painted my stick and I added some pretty yarn and strings that I had. So have fun, friends, trying to spear the moose.